Yeah.
And I never saw it that way. I saw it as, wow, this is a way they want to help me get out of my debt. But actually, it is a promotional tool. It is a promotional rate that ends.
There is something to be said about as you go through the journey of getting out of credit card debt, do everything you can to get onto a forum, get information and resources, read as much as you can, educate yourself about the jargon, understand different types of cards, understand the basic terms like APRs, interest rates, and
it is very important to not allow yourself to feel like it's a let off. It's a get out of jail free card. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's not gold dust. Balance transfers are still dun, da, 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 credit cards. As you said, I never thought of it this way. I thought, wow, this is an amazing tool. I could just take the balance, transfer it over, and get rid of my interest right away. But the reality is, it's just a way for banks to get new customers with credit cards.
Yeah.
And I never saw it that way. I saw it as, wow, this is a way they want to help me get out of my debt. But actually, it is a promotional tool. It is a promotional rate that ends. It's like if a company gives you something for free or for cheaper, and then after, like I signed up for an app the other day, and I thought that I was paying £29 for like a workout. Turns out,
You paid that much for a workout?
yeah,
You did not pay £29 for a
down on
workout.
me.
Are you
No,
serious?
£29, not one workout. It was like a workout plan, and I enjoyed it. Turns out it was monthly. Terms again. The fine print ain't fine. We need to.
I'm pretty sure that was not fine print. I feel like you just did not read that properly.
It's still fine print because when they
That was
market,
not fine
they
print.
always market big and bold the things that the mind's going to be like, yes,
Wow.
debt holiday, and they're going to
Anyway,
put
I'm
they're going to
hoping
put the other stuff in the email, like right at the bottom when you've already, yeah, or just like right before you have to pay. It's going to be right there at the bottom, and
I feel like this is a situation where you booked a holiday and you thought it was in TT dollars we were paying in, but it was actually US dollars, and it
I
was
still
seven
think it
times the
was in
cost.
TT dollars.
So I'm
I
pretty
still
sure.
think I still remember it being in TT dollars, but it was actually in US. And it's only when we got there and it was too late to cancel. So yes, fine print ain't fine, but we have to stop. We have to learn to love fine print. I mean, we have to. We just have to. If we're on this journey to debt freedom, if we're on this journey to financial well-being, we have to learn to love the fine print because it's what's going to give us the power over, those mechanisms, those
Actually,
psychological
yeah.
mechanisms. We have the power of our own mind. But if we don't realize what's being done to our mind, the trickery, then we're being tricked.
Yeah.
But if we understand, like you can game the system, you can benefit from credit cards, you can very much benefit from balance transfers. But if you don't do it right, if you don't read the fine print, you can very much be gamed, and you can end up in a worse situation than you started, which isn't great. But in our case, it was hard. They were hard lessons to learn. It was very frustrating when we realized, oh my goodness, we should not have used that card. We have to go again, pay another balance transfer fee. Yeah, that was hard, but we got there in the end.
Yeah.
And I still think that when looking back, I am glad there was that option.
Yeah. That's another important consideration in this entire ecosystem of managing and getting out of credit card debt. Not just reading and embracing the fine print, but like financial education. Because a large part of which we did sort of touch on in previous episodes is the stress and decision fatigue in choosing a balance transfer, figuring out how much to pay, breaking the terms, reading the fine print, and that can be stressful and that can cause anxiety and just going on a journey of educating yourself and learning to become a good financial steward of your own cash, of your capital and your assets increases your confidence to begin with and able to deal with situations like this and probably reduces the amount of stress and decision fatigue when you have to encounter issues like this. And I think there is something to be said about as you go through the journey of getting out of credit card debt, do everything you can to get onto a forum, get information, resources, read as much as you can, educate yourself about the jargon, understand different types of cards, understand the basic terms like APRs, interest rates, and all the
Yeah,
promotional
because at the
offers.
end of the day, if it's like if you did a deal on a corner in a park, and it's a deal. It's a deal. You made a deal. When you sign up for a credit card or balance transfer, you make a deal. And they don't trick you. Like they just make it really small. Like the fine print is small. It's fine. It's tiny. But when you go back and say, "Oh, I didn't know about this," like when I told that those people with the workout, like I didn't know you were going to charge me every month. I just wanted one. I just want to pay one time. I just want that one workout. But they were able to say it was it was right there. It's right there in the email. It's right there. Um, and so it is on the customer. It's on the customer, and it's on us to realize that information is power, and we do have to be informed about the decisions we make if we want to be
Yeah,
financially strong. That is a must.
yeah,
We cannot expect to just sign on the dotted line, sign up for things, make impulse decisions without preparation. Preparation, understanding is so important, and it save us so much money, so much grief, because we continue to remember that debt is a leading cause of stress and unhappiness and marriage failure and depression and so many things. It's really a hard thing to deal with
yeah,
when it becomes out of hand. So, but we are able to get to a place where we understand the decisions we're making, and
yeah,
that is absolutely key,
yeah,
because even credit cards themselves are not bad. They're not bad unless you use them wrong, unless you don't read the fine print, unless you don't really understand what you're signing up for,
yeah.
you know. Um, so we successfully got out of debt with using a balance transfer. We recommend it if you
I,
can.
I
We,
definitely
we would do that again, basically. We would
A
do it
hundred
again.
percent. If there was one tool that I would recommend to our audience, say you have a couple cards and all cards are accruing interest on it, I think one of the most powerful things you can do is to consolidate onto a single balance transfer, and then manage that rigorously, like your life depended on it, because it is there, it's powerful, and it's most importantly, it's the way that stops the debt from getting bigger because of that
Mhm.
promotional period. But what you don't want to do is do some of the things we talked about early on in the podcast, the big don'ts that sort of break the terms, because the business model of balance transfers really does rely on one in four customers breaking the
Yes,
terms. But
yes.
I guess so. If we were to wrap up, I guess if we were to wrap up this podcast and just to go over what are the three important things to remember about balance transfers: pay on time, pay as much as you can, and don't add new debt.
Pay as much as you can within your affordability. You don't want to commit too much and then you can't pay it. So that's where budgeting comes in. And our previous podcast was about budgeting, and we're going to talk more about that. But make sure that amount that you sign up to pay is something that you can comfortably pay
That's right.
based on your affordability. And if you use a balance transfer and you're successful after 18 months, then you've developed the habits for long-term success, which is
Absolutely.
really cool.
And next week we will be talking about some of the stuff around credit cards, which is our credit score. There's lots to say about that, and
Mm.
that has a massive impact on the we have a lot of interesting to share on that. But next week we'll be covering all the important stuff about your credit score, and we want to try to bring a lot of tips and tricks
Mm.
to maximize that score, game the system as much as you can in a way that does not cost you a lot of money to help you build and rebuild your credit score.
Yeah, and the one thing about this corner of the internet, the Henry and Bianca Debt Freedom Made Doable corner, is that we are not going to hide our failures. And there were many. There were many. And I think your story, usually becomes just your mishaps become your story and the way in which you can help others. So we are excited to help others based on the things that we've learned, learn from our mistakes instead of theirs. But we made mistakes when it came to our credit score too. So that was a big doogie, stressful, and we're gonna share that with people. And so yeah. Thank you again for joining us in conversation. We love having you. We want to hear from you. We want you to let us know in the comments if there's anything you would like us to talk about. We want to cover every single thing to do with debt so that we can really go on this journey and go on this confidently and really get to the destination, which is debt free at the end. 1 month in the future, the balance is going to go to zero and it's going to be a glorious month.
And don't ever lose hope. No matter how dire your situation is, there's always hope. If you like the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'd be happy to tailor content specific to any particular topics that you guys would like to cover. Until then, we will see you next week.
Yeah, stick with us. It's going to be an exciting ride.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the Debt Freedom Made Doable podcast with Henry and Bianca, make sure you like and subscribe and check out the description below the video for links to our website, our waitlist, SOA calculator, and more tools to help you on your journey to debt freedom. Again, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We'll see you again at the next episode. Goodbye.